Welcome everybody to the side note on Kick. Here we are. We're going to give
We,
this a whirl and see how this goes.
we're here.
we are here, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been watching from the sidelines as the show does, and as everybody knows, we've been testing it our individual self on stream. So and we figured it was time to bring the show on the road and get it to Kick. So
Yeah, it was more of a logical decision. Um, Over on YouTube, it's just anyone who's streamed on YouTube knows it's a very clunky and awkward experience. Um,
it's a disaster, isn't it?
it's
Say the least.
it's bad. So uh, it was hard for some people to chat as well, which I mean, sort of is half of this show is the
Yeah, well, that
interactions with you guys. So
is a big point.
yeah, so we figured we'd give
Just
this a
the
whirl.
streaming side's always better. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, the streaming side's always better. It's always been better. It's always been more interactive. You've been able to grip
yeah.
with the community a little better, and that's what we aim to do. So,
Well, that's it. Plus, a large amount of the side note community is over here on Kick anyway, so it just sort of made a
kind
little
of
bit
makes
more
it.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tip. It's a testing and stepping stone to see where we go with it. But
Yeah.
the fact that we have our own podcast area as well, which makes it even better. Which means we can actually
Under podcasts, yeah.
just be there,
Yeah.
be there, and be there in your face. So,
Right.
yes, but brief catch up on a few episodes are on the YouTube. So again, don't forget, hit the YouTube link, go and check those out.
Oh,
Also,
these
Discord is there.
episodes. Sorry, these episodes will still be going up on YouTube, just in case you're wondering. That is still
Yes,
happening.
you'll have the VODs down the bottom, but you'll also be able to cycle on over to YouTube if you missed it and catch it on there as well. But all right, we'll get into today's show, and it's a bit of a contentious one. Uh,
Yeah.
we've been watching Kick for a couple of weeks, haven't we, Sue? We've been watching it. We've been watching some things going on. We've been watching the Twitters, been watching the social medias in general.
Mm.
Um, and something that seems to be, I guess, rather condescending and rather intricate. And I don't know how, if there's a way to manage it or not to manage it, or if it just shouldn't be around at all. Um, follower only chat.
Mm.
It, it it's a really contentious choice. Um, in one side, I get it. You don't want to have drop kicks come in and make a mockery of the stream and chat up a storm.
Yeah.
But on the same note, it's kind of condescending when you follow just to chat and you get celebrated that, hey, thanks for the follow, welcome in. Like, dude, I wanted to ask you a question, but I have
Mm.
to follow to ask that question. Um, I guess for me personally, I think follow only chat is a little below the belt. I guess I think it's a bit of a kick in the guts.
Yeah.
Um, don't get me wrong, there's some really good streamers out there, and I've sat and watched a few of them. But again, on principle, the follower only chat I won't do. It seems like a really false way to grow a network.
Yeah. No, I absolutely 100% agree. It's been one of those things uh, since the idea came to fruition, whether it was either on, I think it probably started on
Oh,
Twitch.
Switch.
Um,
Yeah, it was Switch. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just one of those things that it's that thing's never sat well with me. I mean, and the one that got me was the other day. Like I was streaming, and I believe you and Lady were in a different stream. I won't name names. Uh, but I thought, they followed me whilst I was streaming, whilst they were streaming, which was pretty cool. Um, so I thought, at the end of my stream, I'm going to go host them. I I didn't even check to see whether it was follower only mode or anything like that. I hosted, went over there. I went to went to reply to him thanking me, and I couldn't because I hadn't followed. And like he kept talking to me, sort of waiting for a response. It's like, well, you
Yeah,
sort of backed me into a corner here because I just want to say, yeah, no probs,
yeah,
anytime sort of thing. And I was forced to follow just to reply.
yeah,
And
yeah. I mean, I guess for me on that situation, it'd be like walking into a party with a million people and saying, "Look, here's my Twitter. You're going to follow my Twitter before I'll talk to you. Come follow my Twitter." It's kind of like, what are you trying to achieve? Like, I can see no benefit to it, and I'll touch on MG Live in the chat there. He's got a good point, but I'll touch on that just in a little bit, because there's an option where that comes into play a little
mm-hmm,
later on, and that isn't as bad as follower only chat, and I'll point that out a little later on. Uh, the follower only chat, there is 0 point to it in my personal opinion. There is no way you're physically growing an authentic community by
yeah,
forcing people. I mean, it's I cannot see a way that it works.
it
I
doesn't.
understand that it was from the hate raids and shit. I get that. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand that from all the hate raids and stuff on Twitch. I understand why people are doing it,
Yeah,
but they have to understand if you're a non-affiliated streamer, that is not the way to grow your network.
yeah,
Like, I'm really sorry to burst their bubble, but for someone who's been in the industry long enough, and you've been around as almost as long as I have, if not a little bit longer, um, that is not the way to do it.
no,
Um, there's no benefit to it. Now, flipping that switch and just going to what MG's saying about he doesn't want to have sub to chat like Twitch has. Sub to chat is really good in a lot of ways because you can have a sub only stream. So you can give back to your subs who are giving you all that effort. You can literally make a stream dedicated to just your subs. So
mm-hmm,
100% sub only chat can be a very useful tool. It can make your subs feel like, hey, I want to keep giving this guy my $5, my $10. I want to keep investing in this channel because I'm getting something in return. You get nothing back in a follow only chat.
yeah,
There's just no, and like I said, to then be celebrated because you followed is really condescending.
yeah.
It's
I mean, and that obviously that's what happened to me. I I was forced to follow. I did follow. It was like, oh yeah, thanks for following. It's like, yeah, but you forced me to do
I
it.
had to. Yeah.
You backed me into a corner where I had to do the follow, and
I
it's
mean,
condescending.
it doesn't matter how you look at it. It'd be like going to a restaurant and then them giving you a card saying, "Hey, thanks for eating here." Well, like, like what the fuck?
Yeah,
Honestly, like I came here to eat. Like that's the whole idea of coming to the restaurant. It's the same with your channel. People are coming there to interact with you. Don't force them down that pathway. That's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down. And all that's going to do is breed a lot of, and we've seen this. Oh, why follow me just to unfollow me? I can guarantee you that's why. You've got follower only channel, and they have to follow you to say, "Hey, you're welcome," and they unfollow again because they're not going to stand by that moral. And I get it,
and
but you got to look at
that's
the
that's
smart way.
exactly what I did. You know,
Yeah,
I followed, I replied, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. Sorry, that's
no.
just to me that's unethical. So I did unfollow. So it's really hard to sort of see a pro to follower only mode.
There isn't.
Uh, from a streamer's perspective, like the only pro I can see is just it's a greedy growth. That's really the only thing that
I
I can
guess
come up with.
if I think about it, and I'm being legitimate, I guess the only time that I see a follow only chat working is if you've got 200 plus people in your chat.
Mm.
If you've got 200 viewers, I could see follow only chat being a way to kind of slow chat down. Because if you've got that many people, your
Yeah,
actual
but
follow count is stupidly high anyway. So you're not going to be able to keep up with it. So it's one way to kind of slow it down. But on the flip side, you've
but
got slow chat anyway.
yeah, you
You
got slow
can
chat.
set it to 10, 15, 20, 30
Yeah,
seconds. So you can keep it manageable. It, there's still no real sense to follow only chat except
there isn't.
fake growth.
I mean, unless the reason why it's come around is so it's the same as a sub only chat, where it is for, your community, so to speak, but they've just sort of broadened the sense of what it meant. That's silly. To me, that's a normal stream.
That's
That's
yeah. That
um,
I mean, at that point, you're not growing a genuine community though.
no.
You're growing sheep. That's what you're
Well, I
growing.
mean, how
That,
do you trust whatever numbers you've gotten? You know,
well, exactly.
how do,
That's
how
my
do you
point.
know that people have followed and then forgotten to unfollow, or
Mhm.
they're actually genuine and they do want to follow you? You don't
That's right.
know,
You can't tell.
and then
And for me,
eventually your numbers will start to fluctuate quite a bit.
mm, yep. And for me, and I know for you as well, Speed.
Mm,
It's more about um the interaction
mm,
to build that community because you want to get to know, MG live in chat. Like, hey, buddy, how you doing? You want to get that connection. You don't want to be like, oh, I had to follow, hey, and you go, haha, he's followed me, cool. Because you're not building that interaction, not building that connection with
yeah.
said viewer or community member. It could potentially be your next greatest fan or your next, you know,
Well, that's it. Yeah, you
you,
don't know.
you just don't know. So for me, I think follow only chat has no place in streaming. Period. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. It stinks. It's bad, and I'd love to see it taken off any platform. To be fair, sub only chat is a different story. That can be used as a very cool tool
Uh,
to help give back
Especially
to
if
your
you've
subs.
got
That's
a very
a lot of
large
subs.
community. If you've
Yeah,
got a very large community and you just don't want to have to deal with um all of the stupid chat
yeah.
that you get,
Mm.
where you have that account come in and they're like, oh hey,
I just
I
dropped you a
I
follow. How about
just
giving one
followed
back
you.
to
Yeah,
me?
give one back, hey? What do you say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it avoids all of that and all like the silly stuff. So I get the sub only mode.
I mean, sub only chat is no different to a subathon, technically, if you want to look at it, because you're making people sub just so they can chat in that window. But it's
Oh,
also
I
a way
don't
to, like
know.
you say, eliminate the. I mean, if I was to say, hey, I'm running a sub only chat on Sunday night,
I mean, if you were like,
that's
if you
forcing people to
preempted the
sub
event.
if they want to come.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, if you preempted the event, right, and you gave people enough notice, be like, right, I'm streaming this day. It's going to be a sub only day.
yeah,
At least you've given your community a fair warning. Um,
yeah.
I
It
I
can be
don't
looked at as like a.
I don't see a huge problem with that myself. Uh,
I don't. It's not as big a
in,
problem as a follow chat.
in comparison to a subathon, though, you know,
Hmm.
vastly different. Not even in the same
Oh
ballpark in my mind.
no, but I mean they've still got to pay to sub so they can be part of that chat. So in theory, it could kind of be
Yeah,
considered a pay to chat way, I guess. But again, it's how
not
you
as
use it. If you
much
only
though.
do it for one, if you only use it once, say a
Yeah,
month, if you
well,
do a
that's
sub
it.
only
Yeah,
month, like a sub only chat, and it's not a big deal. But it's if you would leave it on sub only chat all streams, that is where it would become,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. That
like okay, now you're just being greedy versus hey, now you're a genuine person.
Well, that's it. Yeah, if you're doing it every stream, you are just asking for money at that stage. You may as well just do a bloody
Yeah.
subathon. If you if you're going to do that, yeah.
We all know how they turn out.
Yes. Well,
I'm
I mean, well, that's the thing. Like, because you know,
not going to touch on
we've
that
been
today.
we've
Let me
been
tell you
around for a
that.
few weeks, so we've seen a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
things happen over Kick. I've had a lot more time recently to get around and check things out, and you see things, and you're like, I mean, you could
It's
have
a little
done that
sketchy.
a bit better than what you've done. It seems like people
Hmm.
do it as like a last minute thought. Oh, hey, I'm going to do this, but don't really think it through. And
Yeah.
then it all just starts to sort of fall apart and,
So
just sort of
I've
falls on
seen the
its
good
face.
and the bad of subathons, right? Now, personally, like I said, and I've made this joke with you, I'll do a reverse subathon where every sub just ticks the time down so you can get me off cam quicker. I'm all for that. But again, the subathons turn into a greed element. When you see these sub goals like, hey, like 5 subs will get this, 20 subs and I'll send you this, or 50 subs and I'll do that, or 100 subs I'm going to shave my head, or 500 subs, I'm going to do this, and 1,000 subs. I mean, at that point, you're just that's just being greedy. Like, I get it on some platforms, aka Twitch, where payouts were really low. You needed to kind of push 700 plus to get any sort of decent level.
Yeah.
But, if you're going to bring that attitude over here, you're quickly going to be found out. And people are
I
finding
mean,
out very quickly. Let's say that.
so there was a subathon that I saw. There's a popular stream over here on Kick. And they had a subathon where every sub was 3 minutes, but every dollar donated was 30 seconds. So they went down both roads with that one. And, like, obviously, because they were more popular, people are like, oh, popular person, empty out wallet, because they can't fucking help themselves. So, naturally, it worked for them, which is really unfortunate.
Well, I mean,
Um,
yeah, that's the sad thing. Now, let's flip that. Let's flip that back a little bit and say, okay, that person then goes, hey, this subathon is so I can support the platform. Right? Let's say someone's got 50 viewers in their channel. They're a 200 follow streamer. They're not anywhere near that level. Right? They're nowhere near like a Shroud or anything like that kind of level where just throwing money at them like, oh, here, take my panties while you're at it. Like they're not doing that stuff. They do a subathon and they say, what we're going to do is as a community, once this comes through, we're going to go and give back to a broader spectrum of people, right? Now, everyone knows, well, if you don't know, especially here on Kick, I've already done that. Right? Last month, Astrophysics come into my channel. He went apeshit on subs. I went, half of that is going straight back into the platform. And it did. It went back into streamers. It went onto their subs. It went back out to the platform. Now, if you're going to use a subathon for good in that aspect, I'm all for it. Like I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Once you turn it and say, oh, look, I've just gotten all this money and my windscreen's broken, so I'm gonna have to use this now to pay for that. Like it kind of doesn't line up with what you're trying to build and create, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does strike greed in that aspect. So again, how you treat your chat is really a big depiction of yourself as a content creator, as a streamer, as a VTuber, as anything. It really points out what you morally want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing out of all of this is greed. It is greed. And there are going to be some people be like, oh, but you went over to Kick, for the 95 split, so yeah, you're greedy too. It's like, well,
Yeah.
yes and
okay, I'll put my hand
no.
up. Sure, I came over for the 95-5 split. Why wouldn't I?
I mean,
But guess
like,
what's not changing? I'm not going to
yeah,
change as a person. I'm still going to go and give that back. Somebody else is
yeah,
going to benefit. Like,
and like, I'm the same as you. I'm not in it for the money. So, but I looked at 95.5 and I'm like, damn, that's really tempting.
yeah.
As a selling point. But
The difference being, like you said, you're not in it for the money. I'm not here to make $1 million and buy a fucking mansion. Again, no, throw that over the
yeah,
shoulder. At least 50% of what I get automatically goes straight back. And in essence, I'll give it to Saint Lady as well. I'll give her some and say, hey, go and support whoever you want. Like take this and go and support people. That's what I did. That's what we've always done. But whether I make $1 million and $500,000 goes back in the platform, or I make $10 and $5 goes in the platform, or whatever, that's always the way it's done.
yeah,
Because again, showing that you give a shit about your platform rather than yourself is where you'll shine above the rest of the people.
but like a lot of these features have been made for greed. Whatever the reasons are behind them, it is genuinely for greed. Follower only modes, subathons. They're all the same. They all fall into the same basket. So,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, you're not going to see those be removed. Especially follow only.
No, because
You'd have to have an enormous uprising against the platform. Like, remember how everyone on Twitch, right? They had the shits with Twitch, doing whatever they were doing,
took the
and they're
day
like,
off.
"Oh, we're gonna have the day off." It's like, yeah,
Which
that
did
may
nothing.
have made a difference if everyone did it, but it was a very small minority that did, and they were surprised that Twitch didn't listen. It's like, well, obviously they didn't listen because you didn't matter. You were such a small percentage of the Twitch population. Like, you
Yeah.
need large amounts of the. And we touched on that too. It's like you need an enormous amount of the streaming platform to just
Yeah.
be like, nah, sorry, not going to do this. It's the same with just general society. If an
Yeah. But I
incredibly
mean, if you think,
large portion of the population stopped going to work, right? If 90% of the population just went, not going to work today, everything would just fall into disarray.
let's say there's 1 million accounts on Twitch. If you took half of those accounts and they stopped, not for a day's not going to prove a point. You're talking a solid week, like 5 days. That hurts. They need to listen at that point. You had 50,000 people take a day off. Twitch is like, if so, we've got
Well, yeah,
950,000 other people who are still here. We don't care.
and that's the thing, and
Putting more
that's what
viewers on the platform.
they banked on that, and it worked because regardless of how many people walk away, there's going to be the other group of people who are still streaming and doing whatever, who are just going to be like, right, well, more for me, you know?
That's right.
And they'll
I
just
mean,
take up the empty space.
this is where these follow only chats have got to realize it's very much the same thing. People are just going to walk from there and go somewhere else where they feel more included. And that's what's going to happen. And these follow only chats are going to suffer for it. Be like, oh, I've just hit a stagnant point. I've plateaued now for 3 months. I
Yeah.
haven't made any growth,
I mean,
Big shit. But then you see all the other ones are climbing. And they're like, oh, how come I'm not making growth? Again, because no streamer wants to resonate and look at their structure. They don't want to look at their base element and their baseline morals to work out what they're going to do.
yeah, I mean, it could very well be just their way of going, oh, right, well, I want to hit affiliate. Right. So they'll just sort of force a follower only. That'll get them to the 75 over on Kick, or, whatever margins you need to get to on other platforms. That'll force that. You'll get to that point eventually. But, because then you might have some people who will do that and then go, right, sweet, got affiliate, sub only mode, and they'll just sort of continue that trend because
I'll
that's
piggyback
the
it.
only
Yeah.
way they know how to do it. Like they
Yep.
don't know how to network, they don't know how to interact with their community, weirdly enough, because they don't really have that community there. They've just got people who are floating on in. Yeah, there's.
Do you know the funny thing, and this is something I've noticed, especially in the recent time.
Mm,
Now, I'm saying recent time in the last 12 to 18 months. So we're talking not just Kick here in general, but in an overall consensus.
mm,
The follow only chat are also the same people that don't network. They turn their stream on, they sit there, and they expect people to come to them, and they will not go out there and go and view other people. They will not try and build a connection with a person with 100 follows, 200 follows, 10 follows. They won't try and get in and network with people. They'll
yeah.
turn it on. It's like driving a car. They'll just get in, turn it on, and drive it until it stops. Once it stops, it's like, oh, well, that car's shit. Not
Yeah.
worried about you haven't
Yeah.
got fuel in the tank. Like, you haven't filled
Yeah.
it up.
I'll
Like,
just
go
go
and
buy a
actually put
new
some
one.
fuel in it. You can
Yeah.
drive further. Yeah, that's right. Just throw it away. And,
Right away and start over again.
that's
Yeah.
that's the stream society that we've got right now is I just turn it on and people come watch me.
Yeah.
Oh, no one came. Oh,
And
I must be
and
shit then. The
this
platform's crap.
is,
You know, it's not pushing for this.
but this falls into that one thing that I keep bringing up. It's context.
Yep.
There's no people don't look at context. They, you know, they see YouTubers, right? They see big famous YouTubers
Yep.
be like, "Oh, all they do is play games." You know, I can do
Yeah.
that. So they play games, they throw an edit together, they put the videos out there. Yeah, some of them do become fairly popular. A lot of them don't. And that's just how it is. But there's no context there. You know,
That's right.
very rarely will you
No,
have someone of popularity discuss with you their struggles, how they started, like all the little details along the way.
the
It's
streaming part, the playing the games part, is about 5% of your work as a content creator.
yeah. I
Even
mean,
for us
yes.
here at
I
SideNote,
mean,
even
yes, it is
this is the
easy.
5% that we
Yeah. I
that
mean,
we do
it is
the fun
easy
part.
to, turn on your streaming software, you hit start streaming and play a game. Yeah, that's super easy. It is, that is. But, you've got everything else on top of that. It's
Yep.
what you do outside of your streaming hours
Mm-hmm.
that, so it's like a business that doesn't advertise at all. You a brand new business on the corner, doesn't do any advertising, just hopes that people will walk in and know exactly what the hell they're selling. Like it doesn't work that way. You need to, it's branding. You need to advertise your brand, and people don't see that.
Yeah. And we've spoken about this on previous episodes too, but streaming is not just content creation anymore. You're an influencer in a lot of ways.
Oh
You've got to
yeah,
sell your business. You've got to sell your brand. Like this here. This is branding.
yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
you got to sell. Like that's exactly what you're trying to do.
yeah, uh, and that's what a lot of them don't see. It is branding, and you do have a product to sell, essentially, and you are an influencer. As soon as you start streaming, you're an influencer. Regardless of whether you think you are or you are an influencer, and
Yeah.
you will influence
Yep.
someone somewhere along the line. I mean, I've, you know, I went down that road where I didn't consider myself an influencer. I didn't even think about the idea, and then I started hearing stories about all these people that I, obviously touched in some way, not physically. That's just weird. But emotionally, I touched some of these people, and helped them through hard times. And I'm like, but I'm just doing my thing. It's like you don't
Yeah.
realize what you do as a streamer and the power you have. to do good things. So having people sort of, I mean, you're always going to have people taking the easy route.
Oh yeah,
You know, who
that's in life though. They'll always take the easier out.
there's always people taking the easy route. So that's where follower only mode and sub only mode sort of come into play. In certain aspects, sub only mode, but it's it's really and it's great.
Your chat, you look. I mean, the simple thing is the way you treat your chat, whether it's with follow only, sub only, all that kind of stuff. It's a depiction of you as a content creator. That's as simple it is.
MG,
okay. I want to pull that up. I want to grab that straight away because that is the biggest excuse I've ever heard. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to call MG out as in a person. That is a very, very lame excuse. I know Speed's going to tackle this right now because
I mean, because I've been in that position before.
Yeah.
So everyone on the YouTube side of things, MG said, I find it hard to network due to me coming in late from work. I personally was in that sort of position, where I would get home from work and I'd be like, oh, I can't be bothered streaming. I could, it's just I didn't. I mentally made up excuses for myself that I didn't have time outside of work to do anything. I had plenty of time. I had time up my sleeve and then some. When you really look at it, today's society, you're on your phone anyway, right? It doesn't take long. 15 minutes, go through some socials, interact with a few people. That's 15 minutes out of your day, and you've already got your phone in your hand. Don't watch that, that 30-minute YouTube video, and bam, you've got time to do a little bit of networking. I mean, it's not a lot, and I guess the biggest one, the hardest one I always had trouble with was dropping into other people's streams. That was the one that I really struggled with, because that's probably the biggest thing then that can get you moving is, because that's the best form of networking, is dropping into other people's streams, getting to know their community, meeting new people. And yes, that in itself is very time consuming, but you sort of got to make time to do that if organic growth is what you're looking for.
Yeah. So to rewind the tape a little bit, MG, and we'll go back into we'll go back way back into days. You cannot network with the same group of 6 or 7 people. And I'm sorry, but you cannot do it. Yeah. You have to expand and reach other areas. There's no question about it. It takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 5 hours, 10 hours. It takes whatever time it takes for you to go and build that connection with somebody else. Now, if you think about it, and we've touched this on previous episodes, but streaming is in a way, it's a second job. Now, when you start a job, you get to know your supervisor, you get to know your workmates, you get to know, their friends and family, their partners, all that kind of stuff. You get to network within that field. This is a giant workplace. You've got people on Twitch, you've got people on Kick, you've got people on Facebook, YouTube, Glimish, Share Places coming. You've got people everywhere. It's a giant network. The only reason you cannot network is the L word. And I'm sorry to say it, that is the only reason you cannot network. Lazy. You do not want to put your brand out there. That's all it is. And that's a classic example of, I'm going to turn it on, they're going to flock to me. No, it's not going to happen. Again, you've got to promote on socials. I mean, again, you've got to be in Discord, try and tag the, Kick have got their own Twitter page, tag it, because everyone looks at it. It's those sorts of things that you can build onto.
But it's also like you don't want to just say tag your streaming platform. You know, if that's the only stuff that you do on social media, whereas, you know, your tweet or message or something is you going live and tagging the platform that you're in, that's not good enough. You know, that's just hoping that the name of the platform actually carries you through.
Mm.
That's
saw
not
that on
going to get you
footage.
anywhere. Yeah, I mean, I fell into that trap. I got lazy. I started doing
So
that,
did I.
and it did nothing. Like
Yep.
there was nothing there. So, you know, and I'll admit, like having the time to go around and actually see streams and interact with people, people that I haven't met yet, you know,
Mhm.
meeting all these new people, it's made a huge difference. Huge difference. And
Mhm.
you know, not every platform you get to have the opportunity to go around and see the whole bunch of streams. Won't name names, uh,
Wish.
but 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 you do. You need to go out there. You need to meet new people. You just, you know, you
So
might be following someone, they host someone that you don't know about, and then you get to meet them that way.
just grab that last chat from MG Live. Would love to do it during the day, like network tweeting. Again, it's not about love to do it. It's about I'm going to do it. It's about making the time to do it. You might only have half a day on a Friday where you work or you wake up a little bit earlier. Then you can give yourself that window. Tweeting, you can schedule tweets. There's no that's a cop out. You can schedule tweets for days that you're fully at work,
Absolutely,
and you
I
know
did it. I scheduled a week's worth of tweets. Uh, you know,
every day
very
you
easy
can
to do.
schedule that stuff. So that's you can't do that. No, but
Okay,
not while you're at work. But what I'm
yeah,
saying is, okay, when you get home, for example, you know what? I'm a bit tired. I'm not going to stream tonight, but I'm going to dedicate 2 hours into network. I'm going to go and check out a few people. I'm going to drop in and go and hang out. Like this morning, right before, literally 3 minutes before we went live, we helped someone get to affiliate on Kick. Literally 3 minutes before we went live. And then we're here. So it doesn't take very long to just dedicate 2 hours, an hour, 3 hours, take a night off in general that you'd normally stream for a 3 hour window and go and put that into expanding your brand. Go and see people, get into different categories. Go and, if you don't want to follow anybody that's already an affiliate, click on their tab. Oh, gift sub. Okay, go find someone else. Oh, gift sub, gift sub. Oh, that one doesn't have a gift sub. Okay, cool. Let's go and have a chat with them. Try and help build them. Make that network connection. Share out. Say, hey, I'm hanging out with the Speed Demon. He's at 74 follows. Come help me make him affiliate. Because what happens when your name is synonymous with helping that person, you expand. That person goes, oh, this bloke, MG Live just come storming in, brought all his friends, we made affiliate. It might have only been 2 people, but because you made that happen, automatically that name's now resonating. Oh, MG Live. Oh, he's live. Oh, let me go and check him out. You start building and you start building and you start building. Before you know
and
it, 10's 50 and 50's
yeah,
1,000, and you're off. You're
and
racing.
like even I will say it doesn't take a lot of time. You know, even if you dedicate an hour, you know,
Mhm.
every couple of days or whatever, and you do that, you drop into people's streams. Like, yeah, I'm not working right now. I've got all the time under the sun. Uh, but even then, I'm still only really spending about an hour here and there
Mm.
where I'm actually watching people and, you know, going around to different streams and whatnot. I'm still only spending a short amount of time doing that. But, you know, I'm not just sort of really going out there and just digging my nails in deep. I it's a slow growth, but I'm okay with that, you know.
But on that technicality there, I'm going to ask you a question.
Mhm.
I'm going to direct this purely at you, Speed.
I
How do
love
you
those
know your
ones. Yeah.
network is working? How do you know your networking is working?
Oh well, I know the answer to this one. Uh, uh, I mean, the best way. that you know that your networking is working for you is when you get follows offline, when you're not streaming. That's when you
100%.
know. That's when you know that what you're doing is actually doing something.
Yep.
Like at the moment, I've had more follows offline than I have during my streams, and I stream for like 8, 9 hours at a time,
At least.
and I get maybe one if I'm
Yep.
lucky, each stream, and but I'm getting like 2 to 3 off stream, so it works. Networking does work, and the offline follows are a telling factor to that.
So again, that 100%, 100% is accurate. If you're gaining follows offline, you're doing something right. You will inevitably, and I don't care what anybody says. I've got track record of this. You will gain at least 1/5 of your follows offline. There's no question about it because you're actually networking.
Yeah.
And then what'll happen is your ones you get online are from people who are randomly bouncing around trying to network. Ironically enough, what have we just spoken about? Or secondly, when you get hosted. So when people come in and they raid through, bam, then you'll get like Speed comes in my channel. He's like, yo, go and follow this man because he's doing awesome work. I love this guy. He's been helping me with everything. And then all his community is so excited. They just start following. So you go bing, 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 bing. You got follows coming out your wazoo. But you will not get them unless you're prepared to network. Because you can't stay in the same 5 or 6 people all the time. It just doesn't work. You need to expand into other areas. You need to. It's like Speed touched on the business thing before. Like if you're a burger joint, for example, there's hundreds around the world, thousands of burger joints around the world. How do you stand out? You've got to get out to the people. The only way to do that is networking.
Yeah. I mean, you'll have people float on through. Doesn't mean they'll eat there. You know, you know. But yeah, it's networking is like so ridiculously crucial, and I mean, VODs help. I believe. I honestly think that VODs help. Because people. Well, let's say right. So you're out networking, right? You're not actually streaming at the time. You're out networking. You're meeting new people. They go to check out your channel, right? If there's no VODs there, they've got a bio that they get to look at. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. I mean, you get pretty descriptive in your bio. A lot of them don't. Mine. So it comes down to
mine.
yeah, very basic. So it comes down, because if VODs are there or clips are there, it's just a nice little sort of jump in, skip to a point, and go, oh, yeah, not bad.
I just want to interject there a little bit. VODs can be very deceiving. And in saying that, VODs are not a clear outline as to you as a content creator. Again, aka, let's say a VOD that I saw of you, when we were back on Glimish, when I first met you, like I walked in your stream, you were effing this and effing that and effing fucking Rocket League. And I was just like, whoa, buddy, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if I'd have seen that on a VOD, would I have come back? No. Would I have followed? No.
I guess,
because that depiction was a problem. But if you go in and you're a genuine person and you're seeing someone having a shit day on Call of Duty and go, oh yeah, that's just fucked. They kind of get a feeling that, hey, this guy's kind of seeing what I'm seeing. When they come and check the VODs out, that's a different story. But 90% of people won't even check the channel out. They'll just click on and give you a follow. They'll be like, yeah, Speed, let me follow you, man. And they'll click on your name and they'll give you a follow. So 90% of them won't even check it out. What they'd rather do is come and check you out live, see what you're doing, see what you're about. So your networking, like I said, when you get the follows offline, is usually because they've just followed you from the chat.
Yeah.
Which is still a bonus because it means you're already doing work. and then VODs are there if people want to check it out, or they might have missed your live stream. Like, oh shit, I missed Speed today. Oh, bloody work. I'm been at work until 10 o'clock at freaking night. I've missed his stream. I can go back and watch it. So VODs pay more of a help to an already existing community rather than trying to build a community.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like catching up on your latest Netflix or Hulu or, I missed that episode. I'll just catch the double. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, but on the networking thing, like, I mean, and we've seen it. People will sort of, gain those followers to a certain point, and then just sort of really sort of ramps up. Some
flatten out a little bit, and then
some go, some hit the point of greatness, and then just sort of
nosedive.
Yeah, because they've falsified their growth. But for those who have the organic growth, who hit, it's somewhere between like, 50 and 80 followers over here on King is what I've noticed. It's somewhere around that marker where you really start to see some momentum getting going, and that's huge. It doesn't mean that you stop networking by any means. You still have to network, but it means that whatever you're doing is working. If you get to that stage and you starting to really get a move on,
yep,
100%. And I've seen other channels who have reached that affiliate stage very quickly, and they've got, it's always a telling sign when they've got like 200 to 300 followers and they have 5 people in chat or 5 people watching or something. It's like, that's a little bit of a red flag for me. It's like,
yep,
what did you do to get there, and what are you doing now?
Yeah,
sort of thing.
You see, I saw a tweet from someone I used to be pretty well in with on Mixer, and they said, I've got 9,000 followers on it. You still only have 20 in your chat.
Yeah.
Something doesn't add up. The math doesn't add up. Like, if you've got 9,000 followers and 20 people in chat, you've kind of done something a little fishy.
Yeah.
And I know what they've done. I can show you exactly what they've done. Again, at what point do you realize is that that was your own mistake, and that's not generic growth? Naturally,
you don't expect, I've got 9,000 followers, I'm going to have 9,000 people in my chat. No. That's just not going to happen.
1/10.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's the 1/10 rule.
Is a scale.
Yep. Yeah, it's the 1/10 rule. It worked on Mixer. That was how you knew whether what you were doing was working. If you had 300 followers and you had 30 people watching in chat, that's how you knew it was working. Yeah. It's one of those things that isn't really spoken about, the 1/10 thing. I mean, naturally, if you've got above that, tops, clearly things are working out really great for you. But if you start falling to a much lower percentage, if you've got, you got 100 followers, you got 10 people watching your stuff, that's reasonable. That is the 1/10.
Yeah.
But if you've got, hundreds of people following you and you've still got the same number or less, you've got 10 or less, then it's like, well, something's not right. Is it something that you're doing now? Is it something that you've done that's triggered that? Or, is it the process and how you got there?
So one of the things that I know has happened, and I know it happened a lot when the Mixer thing happened and everyone went to Twitch, is they all got onto that player.gg where they do giveaways. Follow me for 10 points, follow this person for 10 points, follow that, make sure you do this, go and retweet that, get all these points in the draw. That's where a lot of them come in.
Yeah.
So everyone's like advertising this, giveaway through player.gg or something like that, gamer.gg or something like that. you had to follow certain people and hit the Instagrams and the Twitters and all this and all that and all this kind of stuff. That's where the false numbers come in. Now, that was purely just a push. I mean, you can look at it when they went in, you can see where the mixer thing is and where they went in, and then all of a sudden, poof, 8,000 people, and you're like, yeah, that's not generic growth. That's, again, follower only chat. That's
Yeah.
forced growth. Hey, you want to enter my giveaway? You got to follow this person, this person, this person, this site, enter the Facebook, you know. So it was kind of forcing people into that window just to try and win a PC or whatever. That, again, no one knows if it was ever actually won and who got it because you never saw anything on it. So
Yeah,
sometimes it's those things that just create the false negative, and that's where you find that someone, aka like an MG Live, will sit there and go, yeah, but I'm not getting the growth. But you're also doing it generically. You're not doing some forced garbage. You're doing it off your heart, not some fake push to get numbers.
And there are cheap and easy ways to boost numbers. If you say hit affiliate, right, you finally got there. Your next step is 50 concurrent viewers. And considering like places like Kick don't actually like mind if you're tabbed, they'll still count you as a viewer. You could, in theory, I'm not recommending this, by the way.
Do not do this.
You could, in theory, have 50 tabs of your own stream up, and that would count as 50 viewers.
I do hear they're working on a fix for that, but yeah, right now, with all the verified streams, you can't tell who's actually legitimate.
I mean,
and who's just gotten friends or family or even themselves tabbed 50 times.
Who's taken the easy way, And Kick are doing an update on how they verify people. They haven't stated what they're going to do. I think it's somewhere along the lines of a manual review process, which I think is tops. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But
the funny thing is, they could see where all those tabs are coming from too. They could see if they're all linked to the same IP.
Oh, it wouldn't take much. Yeah.
And if they can do that, if they can look at that and say, "Hey, you tabbed yourself 30 times," you're out. Yeah. No, that's not on. That'd be cool.
I mean, they don't have to supply a reason for that. And I would say if they can do that, that will be the reason why a lot of people don't get verified. But now there's chatter around, the people who are on the road to being verified, who are kind of getting close. They're thinking, well, shit, if they change things around, I might not get verified. And then they start getting desperate. They're going to start finding cheap ways around it, to hit that point before the new rules come in.
Provo was a classic for that.
Yeah, I've seen chatter about it, like on Twitter and whatnot, and and I did see one that was contemplating the idea and decided not to do it. So props to that person for actually putting morals in front of greed.
At the end of the day, if your morals fall down the side of the road just so you can get a little green tick on your account, you got serious issues, and you need some actual assistance in your choices about what you're doing as a content creator. Because that green tick should not override the value of your community. Period.
Yeah,
it just shouldn't.
But it's about popularity. What is this drive for popularity? It just shouldn't exist. Why is there a need to become popular?
If there's an application process for verified, and I tick the boxes, I'm not doing it. I don't care. I don't need a green tick to say that I'm me and this is my community. I don't need that. At the end of the day, no, that's not going to happen. So if anyone's in chat and you're going to try and help me get verified, don't, because I won't apply for it. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I don't need a green tick. I don't have the blue tick on bloody Twitter. I don't need a green tick on Kick just to know that I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm doing is good things when I can do it. But yeah, it's just frustrating to see all these people go, oh, I've got to get it verified. I've got to be verified. I've got to be, and then they tag like the owners, like, hey, how do I get verified? Verify me. I'm coming over with 5,000 people from Twitch. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, do the things, worry about your community, and give them what they're used to or what they want.
Yeah. I mean, there are people who don't get verified, who do go through the right process. But I mean, again, we don't know what Kick has access to right now. They might have access to the information of, well, you had 50 tabs of your own stream open. So, no. Again, they don't have to supply any reason, but we don't know what it is that they have the capabilities of doing unless, one of the insiders is like, here, this is exactly how we do things. But by doing that, you're going to have people finding ways to circumvent, those outcomes.
The only way that it could be circumvented currently that I am aware of would be if you embedded your stream into a website and you had 50 tabs of the website open as a viewer that way, rather than actually being on the Kick side. Because we saw that on Trovo.
Yeah.
We saw that on Trovo. Someone had 5,000 viewers when everyone else had less than 100. It's like, dude, there's no way. Like, you've only got 2,500 follows and you got 5,000 viewers. You are embedding your site. You're basically getting bot views, and that's how they work the bot system.
Yeah, and I mean,
it on an external site, and they push people there.
Yeah, I mean, and we're still seeing it here. There are view bots.
To some degree, yeah.
I mean, we had it just moments ago. I don't know if you saw that. I had it on my last stream that I did. I was sort of I noticed my numbers just jump up. By 15 or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, that seems a bit odd because there was no host or anything. It just and stayed there for a bit, then it all disappeared. The same thing happened here earlier.
That could be a system that they're working on, though. That could be something that they're playing with in the background.
It could
bots will generally be on for like an hour or 2 hours. They're generally
they're not like I mean, it could be. They might have a system where it automatically checks. If your numbers get boosted really quickly, but there's no justification, like there's no host or anything.
Yeah, there might be
it might trigger
check.
It might trigger in their background and be like, right, well, that needs to go. And it'll just check for bot accounts and be like, right, yeah, wipe that out. Yeah, I mean, we don't know, but anyway, we diverted quite heavily from what we originally were talking about, as we usually do.
As always.
So, yeah.
It's because the chat interacts and we sidestep, but
that's the whole good point. But yeah, it's it does make you wonder, what's coming in the future feature-wise that may have the same impact as a follower-only mode or whatnot.
Well, I don't think there's anything that's going to be matching on that level. Like I just, like I said, I cannot see a reason for follow-only chat. There is no purpose to it.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think there's a feature they could bring in that would be that.
The only thing I can think of, in my personal
opinion, I don't think there'd be a feature be that useless. To be fair,
the only thing I can think of that would be on the same sort of level as, say, follow-only or like subathons is running your own ads. That's the only thing I can really think of at the time. Because if you're in control of when you run ads, that's a scary thought. because you might stream for half an hour and be like, right, 6 ads, and just sort of sit back and just let it all flow. So I don't know. Again, we don't know
I
if
think
Kick's going to go down the ad route either. So
I think ads is a bit of a contentious one as well, because as much as they're good if you can get, so let's say you're affiliated with Logitech, for example, right? And you
yeah,
could run your own 30-second ad. I get that. Like, that kind of works.
mm,
But I think when a platform is getting like paid to run ads, and I think they're forcing it onto a streamer to run those ads, even though they're not, like if I'm affiliated with Rogue Energy, I'm not going to want to G.
mm,
So I think there has to be some leeway where, okay, you as a streamer control your channel. If you want ads on, tick the box. How often do you want to run? I want to run one every 90 minutes. Okay, cool. Ow. I just saw that light up. Thank you, technology, for ruining the.
thank you.
Do
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that was bright,
Jesus.
wasn't it? But if you can then say, no, I don't want ads at all, and turn
Yeah.
them off, I think that should be the streamer's choice. I think that should be down to the creator and what they want to do for their channel. I don't
Yes.
agree ads should be
No,
forced. The streamer should be able to be in control of that.
I do agree with that. But I mean, the downside is that there are going to be people who are going to abuse, the ability to show ads themselves.
Right. But again, they're also the people that you put on a watch list that you don't go into.
Yeah.
It kind of plays in the same thing, doesn't it? I mean, if you go into a chat and they've got follower only chat or whatever, you're walking out. So if you walk in and they're just peeling ads off every 10 minutes, you're like, yeah,
Well,
no.
naturally, yeah.
But I'm not here to watch Ad Central.
Yeah. But
Again, it will also come down to, I guess, if they're going to encourage people to run ads, is what is the incentive? Is it going to be 10 cents per person you chat? Are people then going to like view bot to get more people in so they can run the ads to get more money? What's it going to be? If there's zero incentive to run the ads, I don't think you're going to see people misuse it, because people already hate ads on Twitch. They already hate that stuff. They don't want it. And that's been a big talking point for months now, especially on social media. They don't want ads. Does Kick need ads? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if it's going to actually bring anything to the platform. Again, if we roll back to where I said, if you're with Logitech, for example, and you want to run your own ad, that's up to you, because that could be like a BRB screen that
I
like,
get
hey,
it. Yeah.
just going to duck to the bathroom. Here's an ad. So it can kind of, I don't know. It's another very contentious situation where it could be used for good, but it generally fades off into the this is a shit concept idea.
Yeah. But like, even though we know follower only mode is a shit idea, it's not gonna go anywhere. Because people want it. That's the problem. That, like, there are too many people who want it, so it's going to stay. It's going to stay there. You're going to get all these, like, as much as people hate ads on Twitch, there's still people
They're not going
blasting out ads through their stream.
That's because they're looking at those ad incentives that we've seen. Run 60 minutes of ads in
now, yeah. I mean, now there's
that's all like,
huge
I can make
incentives.
$4,000 there. Let me go and run.
Yeah, if I run X amount of ads over,
hour.
yeah.
It's as long as that is out and there's a choice of the streamer who can say yes or no, or I only want to run 2 ads every 90 minutes or something like that, it can work. It can be a decent feature. If it gets abused, that's where you start having issues.
Yeah, but I mean, follower only mode getting abused. You know, again, it's going to take an enormous uprising from the platform
Mm-hmm.
to be like,
Yeah.
follow only mode's got to go. You know, it's creating toxicity. It's influencing numbers in the wrong way. You know, it's bad for the community. Like it's going to take a huge amount of people to just put their foot down and say that for any platform to be like, well, okay, no one wants this. We need to get rid of that.
Well, like I said, the only reason for follow only chat is because of the hate raids. That's the only reason it was ever brought in.
Yeah.
And it's just now stuck. I mean, it's just part of the AWS framework now. So anyone who's paying Amazon to use their framework is automatically got that there. And it's
but you can
just so annoying.
But there's so many things that Kick obviously hasn't implemented that is in that framework. So they can remove it. It's just whether they want to do that or not.
There's got to be a reason for them to do it, and I don't think there's going to be enough of a reason to do it because those selected people, and I mean, look, I've only ever found 2 people so far on Kick in the months that I've been here that have had it. But generally, it's not a used process.
Yeah.
And if they do use it, I'm generally out anyway. And again, in that situation, I don't hang around. As we heard from MG as well, it's not a kosher thing to do.
Yeah.
But generally, the community will weed certain things out, and like we said before, they'll get to a point, they'll just plateau, they'll just flatten off, and they won't grow because people will be like, mate, no. It's like the other day, you had that one come into your stream. Oh, I dropped you a follow. Hey, if you could follow back, and 1,150 follows. What the hell?
Yeah.
Why? Like, dude, like that. You're coming in asking follow for follow. I followed you, follow me back. No, you've got 1,100. Go.
I mean,
and
what that person
off like
that I
ridiculous.
went to was it yesterday or day before, whatever. 2 days ago. They had a few hundred followers already. They already had affiliate, but they were running follower only mode. Like, to me, common sense says why. Why are you doing
Turn it
that?
off.
There's no
Stop
need.
using it.
Yeah, I mean,
no, that's right.
There is no point throughout anyone's streaming career where you need follower only mode that I can reasonably think of. Late game, absolutely no need. You've already got affiliate. No need for follower only mode. I mean, there's no finish line past it.
Yes.
Past affiliate. So affiliate's really the only marker where you need follows to get to a certain point. And if you're doing it prior to that, you're not growing at all. You're just
that's right.
It's just numbers.
And at that point, if you're doing it purely to get to affiliate, you may as well get into these follow for follow friggin' schemes. Jump in a Discord that just drop your link and everyone follows you. There's your 75. Like, it's right there. Like,
save yourself some time. Buy some follow bots. I mean, fuck.
There you go.
That's
exactly.
Work.
And we know. We know Trovo can't pick them up. So no, don't do that. No, I did do that test on Trovo. Don't do that, please.
We do not condone follow or sub bots by any means. Just don't.
No, absolutely not. A matter of fact, it's sad that they're still going around. It's still there. It shows that it's not just platform related; it's framework. So this is what Amazon pretty much have built, allowing that into their framework.
Yeah.
Because you look at Twitch has got them, Trovo had them. They're using the same sort of framework. Kick's got them now. It's all the same framework, so it's not
Yeah.
hard to create them and use them. And that's the problem. And this is what I hope Kick actually does, and they get into their own window and say, no, we're not having those massive door open for things to come in.
Yeah.
Because I think the AWS framework is good. I think it's very, very unsecure in a lot of aspects like that.
Yes.
The security's there, but I think the influx that allows so much traffic in a heartbeat is where the problem lies. Because you can have 10,000 bots come onto your channel. What?
Yeah. I mean, by then it's too late, isn't it? Yeah.
So I think that's where it's an infrastructure. Like if it's not a registered account, there's going to be. I know bots can still be registered, like they can still have their because they still somehow create them. There has to be a way to trigger that out. I'm just not sure how it's done.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could do it. It's got to be down to a coding or back scenes issue there. But,
I mean,
it's certainly not follower only going to chat because you can buy the follows anyway. So
yeah,
it's still there.
I mean, yeah, even like authenticating your account, like that's
forcing 2FA might be the only way. Or locking to a phone number, maybe.
Yeah, I guarantee there's still a way around that, like somewhere along the line.
Well, I mean, there would be.
Anything's.
MG saying they need to get to the bots and shut them down. You can't because they'll just go and create another one.
You can't shut them down.
It takes 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and all they've got to do is, like I said, they've just got to embed them on a external site.
I mean, it's like the Pirate Bay. If anyone's old enough to remember the Pirate Bay, that got shut down like several times, but they just kept buying a brand new domain. They just moved the site over. Like that's it. They just kept going.
Yeah, they can't shut them down.
No, it's there's
the only way to shut them down is to block them. Period on the site, and that is just.
I mean, but that's an exponential process, because
I mean the only one who didn't have them was Glimish. You couldn't buy Glimish viewbots
because it didn't run the same framework. Yeah, it was a totally different framework. So it was independent to everyone else. So you didn't get those view bots or follow bots or sub bots. And I think that's probably half the reason why it's a little bit flat over there as well. Because you can't do that over there. So
so you can't advance yourself through the system. You can't make it look like you're bigger than you actually are. You actually, you really do just have what you get.
Yeah, but I mean, that
falls back to that networking thing, as to how that was building.
Yeah, but like even if you pay for all that stuff, here's the bit that's just really weird. Yeah, even if you pay for all that stuff and you pay for follow bots and whatnot, and you get to a certain stage, you've got nothing. After that, you've got a whole lot of false numbers that really haven't gotten you anywhere. And you're gonna be like, yeah, I've got 10,000 followers, 5 people watching, because they're the ones that genuinely came in to see you. It's...
But you can genuinely tell too who's doing it.
Yeah,
because if you watch them long enough, and this falls into that networking game, if you're in there often enough, you'll see they're averaging 7, 8 viewers. All of a sudden, you go in there the next day, they're at 500. You're like,
I mean, that's the telling sign, isn't it? Yeah.
Where did you pull 500 viewers from? I mean, you just watch, and all of a sudden it'll dip back down and be like 2 hours later, boonk.
I have seen a stream recently that does have large fluctuation in viewer numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Not to that extent, obviously, but I mean, we're talking like an extra 20, on top of the
20,
lowest
not so
point.
much.
And to me, that's like, that's borderline something sus. Maybe it just falls into a different time period and everyone's just available to watch. I don't know. But it seems sus that that number fluctuates that much between streams.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You'll never stop it. They'll either do it to you to try and get you banned because you're a threat to them, or they'll do it just because they want to be a dick about it. You'll never stop it. It's always going to be there. And the ones on Twitch, especially ones on Twitch, you can actually buy your partnership. Like, I'm sorry, but you can.
Yeah.
You can use the sub bots and the view bots, and the sub bots actually, Twitch will pay you. When you look at the payouts and how much it costs you to get the sub bots, Twitch is actually paying for it, and you're still getting a payment out of it as well. So you're making money by spending money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because it all works out, financially. Really, because people are paying for the follow bots and the view bots and all that sort of stuff.
You're paying $70 odd for them to come and give you 50 subs. That's $100 in your pocket.
Yeah.
So you're already $30 up. At the end of the month,
when
you
look
1,000 view bots, that's only $15. See, now you're already $15 ahead.
Obviously, when you look at that scenario, it's a win-win for everyone. Everyone comes out on top, but the streamer doesn't really come out on top.
No,
when you really dive deep into it, the company that's offering the bots, they're the ones coming out on top. Twitch doesn't care. Or anyone using the AWS framework don't care. I mean, it's just a normal day. Transactions are going through. They're still making a profit there. Whatever. The only one that's going to be hurting after that is the streamer. When they I can't afford to do this anymore. Or, this is, I just want to stop it because I've got the numbers that I wanted. And then they realize that they're shit. And
the numbers are just crap. Yeah. They're not as good as they thought they were.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
and you're dead right, MG. Like, I could go on bot speed, 100%. Yeah. I could pay for a bot. But at the end of the day, that's me, not him. So, again, they should be able to tell where that IP is. But to tell, that he's not doing it.
Well,
no. Again,
no.
Because, okay, so let me break it down. The bots work on an embedded. So what they do, when you go onto bigfollows.com or whatever the fuck that one is on Twitch, right? You give them your stream title, like your stream name, your account, basically, and say, like, so SideNote_Lord is my Twitch name. They then pull your channel. They embed it on a website that's got really high flow traffic, right? They shrink it down so it's not seen. So anybody who goes to that website counts as a viewer. That's where the bots are coming from.
Yeah. Sorry, my screen's having a fit today. You're right.
So there's no way to actually track the IP because let's say they embed it on eBay, for example, right? They take MG Live and they put it on eBay and there's 1 million people go through eBay every day. They're only directing 200 to your stream. The other bot just keep on going through. Those people don't actually know they're viewing your stream while they're looking at their hairdryer or their slow cooker or their brand new wiper blades for their car or a floor mat. They don't know they're looking at your stream. So then what happens is an hour ticks by and they go boonk and everyone goes back into the mainstream again. You've got to go back in and pay for another. Okay, we'll direct people over there. So it's just an opening. So all the IPs are actually individual IPs. I know how it works. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
Because it's an embedment. And I saw somebody on Twitter the other day ask Glimish if they can embed their stream onto their own website. Why are you trying to embed your stream? You're trying to make yourself look
because it's
much bigger than you actually are.
Yeah. I mean,
That's all you're
that's a
doing.
whole other, kettle of fish, because that's heading into the realm of, okay, I want to stream on your platform, but I don't want to be there. It's like,
Yeah, I would need my viewers from every other platform to be able to see me, and I don't.
then that's a thing that just doesn't make any sense at all to
Yeah.
me.
View bots are a stain on the streaming category, but unfortunately, there's not enough bleach to get rid of that stain. They're here. They're going to stay. They're
I
never
mean,
leaving.
I
You
will
need to just
say
work
that
around it.
Kick are obviously they're doing something,
Oh
and
yeah,
whatever they're doing is working for now. Yeah, yes, we're getting view botted, but the view bots don't stay there for very long.
and on the flip side, if you know that it's happening, you can either one
Oh,
advise Kick that this person's doing it if you know where it's coming from, or again, you just don't try and use that as a metric. You just keep doing your thing, go
yeah,
about your business, and keep
and
doing it.
even the follow bots, Kick are all over the follow bots right now.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they
they are.
are all over that shit. So, I mean,
Yeah.
and like I'll be honest, when I saw my numbers bump up quite a bit the other day, I was like, oh, here it comes. I was like keeping an eye on
You're kind
chat.
of
I'm like,
nervous. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for it to explode, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
thankfully it didn't. So, you know,
It means they're doing things in the background. So they do have an algorithm. They do have some sort of purging system in the background. It is running and is working. So again, follow bots, too big a deal. I wouldn't be worried about it. I mean, just go about your business. Do your thing. I mean, they're not even hanging around long to actually contribute to your concurrent viewership anyway. Don't even worry about it. I mean, don't worry about it. It's just
there,
not a
there,
thing.
there's nothing to worry about. Yeah.
Geister's
Yeah.
lurking riders are about to wind up the show.
Come
Thanks,
on,
Geister.
you should know the runtime by now. God.
That's crazy.
Oh,
It's good fun, but one thing that I'm going to love about being here on Kick is the show can actually go and raid somebody. We can host people, which
that
is
is correct.
really cool.
Which
That
is
is
something
cool.
we wanted to do. It was something that we were looking into back on Glimish, I believe.
Yeah.
We were looking into doing that. And I mean, here we actually get a chance to do it because there's streams available. Crazy
Yes.
that.
No way.
Yeah. And you couldn't do it on YouTube, obviously, because that doesn't exist. You know.
Just YouTube.
So, yeah. But
That is just YouTube.
yeah, do let us know whether you like us being on Kick as well. If this
On the
is
Discord.
better for you guys as a medium, yeah, join our Discord, our Gilded, which we don't have a link for. It'll be on the YouTube though. The link is on
Will be
YouTube.
uploaded.
The YouTube link is in down below. Yeah, no, we would love to hear your feedback, and future shows as well. We want to know. Obviously, there's shit happening all the time. You know, there's going to be stuff that we don't know about. We'd love to hit up anything, any topics that you guys
on the show.
Yeah, any topics that you guys want to talk about, and if you want to be here with us, and have a rant about, something.
Viewbots or follow only chat.
We're all for it. Yeah.
All right. Should we do the hosty things, man?
I believe so.
Is it better to view? I know there were issues with Glimish for me personally, and so I don't go. Sprinkle Toes, we haven't been on Glimish for nearly 4 months.
Yep.
Be up
we
and
actually
bolted out of there as soon as things.
Well, we did 5 five live streams on YouTube
Yeah.
since then. And considering everyone was 2 weeks apart, we're looking at 10 weeks at least.
So again,
Since we're on
that's-
English.
so if that's a topic that you'd like us to touch on, again, go on the Discord. Come let us know. If you want to be
Glimish
part of that
is a
show, you
topic
want to
that
put
we'd
in.
love to touch on.
Oh no, it's someone we'd love to touch on. It's going to be touched on.
Yeah, it's going to happen. We're just biding our time right now.
It will be there. But yeah, if you guys want to be a part of that show, or you just want to try and add some context to that show, again, join the Discord. Let us know. Come and join us on the show. Glimish, the next big thing for the dumpster fire. Yes, we'll leave it there. Let's just say it will be a show that's coming up. Again, Speed and I have a lot of personal interventions there. We know a lot of our community here with SideNote have been aggrieved in some way, shape, or form over there. So again, we'd love to get your opinions. We'd love to get your feedback on that, and you know, we can present that at some point. Obviously, we're not going to put a time frame on that show, but it will happen. There is some things there that have to happen for reality purposes. They need to get a reality check, and we'll touch on that. But that's much further down the future. So if you guys want to be a part of that, again, let us know. We can get you involved and have a say and have your input.
100%.
Anyway,
yes,
that is going to wrap up today's show. Anyway, but who shall we go and do the hosty host on, mate?
Oh, good question.
What do you reckon we go and see our new friend that we made before stream?
That sounds like a great idea.
We going to go and introduce you guys to the person we helped make affiliate just before the show.
Affiliate, actually, literally like minutes before the show started.
So we're going to take you guys. We're going to go and introduce you to very, very humble, very, very down to earth guy. Glad we met him. Again, guys, please drop the love on him. Give him follows. Again, we're not going to beg you to give him subs, but if you're feeling generous and you want to sub to him, again, that's entirely onto you to do so. But at least give them the love. Drop the follows. Again, we appreciate all the follows we've gotten here today. We are automatically at 9 followers, so thank you so much for your support here on the channel. We appreciate it always.
Yes.
But we'll see you guys back in 2 weeks with some more hot news and gossip, as we always do. But Speedy is going to throw us over.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll enjoy the host, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.
Guys.